turn off, man. Are they actually running a tall screen stream? Are you serious? Is that really happening? God. I am not gonna remember to turn that off. It keeps turning back on. I had to wait like 2 minutes for it to like end the stream because it wouldn't start the next one. I need to like actually get some water, not just say it. I'm gonna BRB. Nothing works. It's so annoying. So I'm like gonna shut up and get something done. This is like so extremely boring. If I don't get enough done today, I'm like take a couple days off and get more done. Like streaming this is so boring. It's like boring enough that I don't want to stream it because it's boring. I need to get past restructuring this because this is boring. I cannot take this. And then I'm like renaming stuff with like the word comment or like remove this, and then I'm messing up half the time, and then I'm recording it. Man, this sucks. I need to get this done with. I need to drink water. I hate JavaScript. JavaScript sucks. If I get as far as I want, I'll like stream every day again. If I don't, I'm gonna like try to get some more done. Man, I'm so tired of this. This is stupid. I made this way too complicated. let's say it's like the year 2026, okay? I'm just talking in general, not whatever, okay? I'm like monologuing. Alright, so like pretend it's not 1950, okay? So it's not 1950s. Pretend that's not true. Let's like pretend it's 1950s because it's not. I mean, is it? I don't know what's going on. Makes no sense. It's basically 1950s. Alright, let's say like it's 1950s because it still is. And like you have like a couple calls to make to an API. And like, let's say it's like the GPU. The OS is so crappy, it's not even funny. It could be so much faster. Alright, let's say like you make 3 separate calls to an OS compared to like 1 call. Where it's like the same thing, but it's set up like this with the pure data, and they could be like parallelized or whatever. Imagine how much faster that would be. Now imagine it at like the bottom level at machine level. If every fucking layer in between the base, the kernel, freaking all APIs in between, the freaking like the nodes for the file system, that doesn't exist. Imagine if it's a straight up fucking single call every single time for every single resource. I mean, hypothetically, how fast would that fucking operating system be? Oh, that'd be a real fast OS, damn. If it took every single running system and then it optimized it because it's the only system running and all it does is manage resources, and it could pack resources and it didn't waste time with a virtual memory. It actually like managed memory, and then yeah, that system would be so fast. And then if it's JavaScript that like the operating system's based off, then the very complex types are already taken care of. And you just add new types to the system. Like, this is me fucking awesome. Like Windows, Linux, Apple, they're so 1950s. Fucking left in the dust. Be so fucking slow. If you're studying, you need to study. Don't watch me. Like, seriously, you gotta study. Man. Did the audio just die? testing.
Why is parallel such a big deal with modern hardware?
It's a big deal because the clock speeds, they're not getting faster. So it all comes down to like resource management and timing and optimization. And that is every single thing that the operating system does very poorly. So like the modern operating system has literally reached the end of its life cycle. It was already dead on arrival. Windows, man, gonna suck it. I wasted money on a Windows phone. That was so stupid. I'm so pissed. It took like a week to get all my shit off it. Just freaking dumped the apps. And then they were like gonna like discontinue the phone or like stop support. And they had like a text message or something. And they didn't do it. So it's like, oh, I guess the phone's gonna be fine. And then they do it. It's like, oh, what the fuck?
Because modern hardware has many things capable of working simultaneously. Old model. CPU, instruction, CPU core C0, C1, C2, C3, GPU RAM storage, thousands huge DMA of lanes bandwidth. So parallel isn't just optimization. It's fundamental to how hardware gets work done now. So parallel isn't just optimization. It's fundamental to how hardware gets work done now. How do that relate to the time scheduler I explained, and then how the OS will be structured in relation to the modern OS, and big tech, so out of date. And GPUs make this extreme. A GPU isn't one giant CPU.
The GPU, they don't give you access to like the instruction set on the GPU. So they gotta like batch up stuff, you send it over. And the GPU wastes so much time that it can like make fake frames. Because there's such a bubble in like the time it takes to send stuff to GPU. The GPU should be like open access. And then stop calling it a GPU because it's not. It's like it's several mini computers. It's literally just a CPU on a board. But it's like fake software, send like magical numbers over the PCI bus, all this crap. It's got like fucking like shaders and there's waves and there's like register like it's so stupid.
Audio can also have parallel stages. Storage can DMA while CPU works. Network can transfer while GPU renders. CPU can execute while GPU executes. These activities coexist in time, then total ordering can exist where required. GPU frame n, dart, CPU simulation n, dart, GPU frame n plus 1, while unrelated work stays concurrent. That is why parallelism matters so much. Modern hardware isn't one machine doing one thing faster. It's
Oh, that's a lie. It's one machine. Calling it multiple machines? No, it's not. It's one machine.
many execution resources doing different things simultaneously.
It's not doing multiple things at the same time. It's batching them up in buffers. Dang.
A scheduler that treats the machine primarily as one CPU handing out time slices leaves a lot of that structure poorly represented.
Because the modern time schedule is so bad. The GPU is such a disappointment. The GPU. Alright, I'm just gonna text to speech. It's so much fun.
The GPU is like a mini computer, but there is no timing mechanism. Literally, the CPU has to time the GPU. The CPU has to tell the GPU every frame. The GPU has a timer on it, but the GPU API, they make the CPU send every time a frame needs to happen. Like videos, the CPU sends every frame. Even when it's a vid. And the OS has to blitz the pixels, memory copy, every single frame.
It's like ridiculous. I was so disappointed with the Vulkan API. And then you can get access to GPU, but you gotta sign up for some club and they gotta accept you or something. It's like the Vulkan API, all of them though, even freaking OpenGL. You would think that there's some timing mechanism where it's oh, the GPU knows to update every frame from this buffer at this frame rate. Yeah, you would think that, wouldn't you? Who wouldn't think that? Who wouldn't think, oh, you play a video, the GPU, the freaking GPU does a copy, a blitz of the pixels on the screen to reconstruct the desktop for freaking all the programs. There is so much redundant overhead. That's not even funny. It is so frustrating. There is so much redundancy. The OS doesn't even know what's being rendered. This whole system is so fucked. It's so stupid. I hate this. I freaking hate this. What a disappointment. I'm literally so pissed. Freaking frame by frame, you gotta fucking send it from the CPU. And it's no wonder the freaking frame rate tears. Because it's the CPU just sending arbitrarily whenever it sends it. And then the fucking OS is oh, I'm gonna blitz the whole freaking screen over here. It does freaking big ass memory copies to the final place. Oh, this stuff is so dumb. I gotta set up a whole freaking time scheduler system that I gotta finish up. Because videos and images are two different things. The video plays, the image loads once. So I need all these different fucking routines for all these different little parts. Oh, I hate the GPU. It's so annoying.
Mayo, It's just the data that has been fed by the trainers.
Yeah, it's literally like AI. You just freaking feed it into the GPU and it like poops it out. The GPU doesn't do anything. It's actually pretty clever. They make an API, they make a shitty GPU, they make it really poorly designed. They sell the same thing every year, and then they hide the actual hardware behind like waves and register files. And they call things shaders, whatever that even means. There's no shader unit. It's a little piece of memory on the fucking core. But they have this like stupid spec. Oh, I freaking hate the GPU.
So parallel isn't just optimization. It's fundamental to how hardware gets work done now. How do that relate to the time scheduler I explained, and then how the OS will be structured in relation to the modern OS, and big tech, so out of date. Yes, your time scheduler is a much better fit for parallel hardware than a scheduler whose primary abstraction is give process X CPU slice, then process Y your model. You aren't trying to make everything execute simultaneously on one CPU core. You're modeling when each program resource relationship needs service. Those requirements exist on one shared system time base. Then hardware parallelism means the OS can actually execute compatible work simultaneously.
Oh, that's gonna be fucking awesome.
The scheduler determines what needs to happen when. Hardware determines what can physically happen concurrently. Those are complementary.
And so is putting Microsoft out of business. It's like complementary. It's like fuck everyone over. You don't get to stay in business.
I'd conceptualize yours roughly as JS machine code engine, Dart. Resource objects time scheduler, Dart. CPU GPU I/O. Cores engines devices, Dart hardware. The time scheduler isn't merely CPU scheduler. That's the major difference. CPU scheduling is one consumer of your temporal model, GPU work, audio, input, networking, storage, etc. can all participate.
That's a lie. The CPU is scheduling the GPU because the GPU, you can't just like have it run frames. You gotta like send every freaking frame. And then the OS does like 1,000 fucking copies. That's why like more windows open, shit performance. Like obviously that's what's going on, but like you don't think about it. You just think I need a new GPU, but there really is no reason. It's like the most literal, simple solution. And yeah, simply complex.
Modern desktop OS model. Typical model is more fragmented. Application, runtime framework, OS API, process thread, CPU scheduler, CPU. GPU has its own scheduling resource machinery. Audio has its own timing machinery. Storage has queues. Network has queues. Different subsystems develop their own models.
It's all freaking stack based, and they don't even know how to use a stack. At least Microsoft doesn't. This doesn't zoom in. Man, this is the worst bookmark viewer ever. man. It's like this is Microsoft's own website. They've been in business for what, like 40 years? And instead of like updating their compiler, they're just like, hey, we're gonna like make a website, a page, and then say we don't meet the standard. Even though we're worth trillions of dollars, they can't update their compiler.
Non-standard behavior. The following sections list some of the places where the Microsoft implementation of C++ doesn't conform to the C++ standard. The section numbers given below refer to the section numbers in the C++ 11 standard, ISO IEC 14882, 2011, E.
Man, oh, it's here.
Compiler limits. The C++ standard recommends limits for various language constructs. The following is a list of cases where the Microsoft C++ compiler does not implement the recommended limits. C++ standard 256. Microsoft C++ compiler depends on the combination of statements that are nested, but generally between 100 and 110.
So Microsoft, they can't even meet half the standard. They're freaking like 100, 110 at like 256. What even? So they don't know how the stack works.
Storage has queues, network has queues.
Queues are basically a stack. The whole design is like put on a stack and then pop it off. That's not a design. That's just stupid. Microsoft is so stupid. And they legitimately are. Like, they will never, ever get to 256, meet the standard, because they don't know how recursion works. They don't know. Well, they do know. But they use recursion, I would assume. What do I know? And that's what causes it to, like, explode, take up space, and blow up the stack. So I'm pretty sure they use, like, a counter, and they, like, assume, oh, the stack's getting pretty big. Let's not go, like, above 100, 110, based on whatever conditions. Yeah. That compiler is so frustrating. You sit there, you wait for it to compile. Oh, it's so slow. Freaking slow ass compiler. All compilers are slow.
The really important part, your scheduler can know and needs CPU 60/S, GPU 60/S, audio 48Ks, B needs CPU 120/S, GPU 30/S, network 20/S. Then it knows the relationships between those requirements. That gives you something traditional process scheduling doesn't naturally express. These CPU operations, these GPU operations, and these audio operations belong to the same temporal system that matters enormously for
Music, audio, video games, everything. Every single thing. every single thing.
That matters enormously for games, audio engines, video, emulation, simulation, animation, robotics, deterministic replay, and parallelism makes your burst resources idea more powerful. Suppose video rendering suddenly needs everything: GPU 95%, RAM 80%, CPU 70%, storage 90%, instead of blindly treating that as video process gets high CPU priority. Yes. Your OS sees a resource demand across multiple hardware domains. It can temporarily restructure allocation. Video job. Yes. Then when finished. Video job done. Resources available again. That's much closer to treating the computer as one resource system rather than a collection of unrelated queues. And I would avoid saying modern OSes are useless, outdated as a blanket technical claim. They solve enormous problems: isolation, security, drivers, SMP, virtual memory, fault recovery, compatibility, etc. Your criticism is more precise.
What does it mean the modern OS solves security? What? Man. How do you even spell Valorant? I played the game like 5 times and it like destroyed my BIOS. Freaking TPM chip or some shit. No, ring 0 reset. And like, fuck, whatever. The computer reset because it said to play the game you gotta reset and like change whatever in the stupid keys or whatever, and then like the motherboard got stuck, and then BIOS 1 and BIOS 2 didn't work. Freaking get a new motherboard. Motherboard I got now sucks. That game also sucks, man.
No. Modern OSes are useless, outdated. What security? Lol, if the modern OS solves security, then why the fuck does Valorant need to install a program at ring 0 to prevent hackers on Windows? The modern OS is not secure. Modern OSes are useless, outdated. Just like GPT will be, you will see GPT. On that specific criticism, yeah, your example exposes an important limitation. Windows has strong kernel user isolation, but secure nothing running in user space can cheat.
God, criticism. CRITICISM. That is so many fucking letters. Man, that is painful to spell. That's how you spell specific. I'm not gonna waste my time memorizing that.
No. Laugh my fucking ass off on that specific criticism. Yeah. Your example exposes an important limitation. Every specific criticism, literally, Modeno says are useless, outdated. Fact.
The modern OS cannot run anything in parallel with this much shit on top of it. This thing is the limitation. It is pathetic.
The modern OS is the limitation. IT cannot run anything in parallel time-wise with this depth. Application. Dart. Runtime framework. OS API. Process thread. CPU scheduler. CPU. IT does not even understand that throwing things on a stack is not a way to manage memory, and only fragments the whole thing. The modern OS is the limitation.
Oh, I'm not even gonna argue, it's not worth it. There are way more layers than that. That's like, yeah. So batching things, that doesn't even matter. Whatever, I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna set this up to batch and I'll like do that. I don't wanna make 3 separate calls that have run the same thing 3 times. That'd be stupid. And I'm tired of this. I'm gonna like make the mistake of putting it in an array. Just put everything in an array. So this is like the validate stage, and then I could have more steps, but I'm gonna keep it to 1, except the expand stage is 2 separate objects. So I'll leave this as 1, except this is gonna be 2 separate ones. Except they're under the same group, which means I can be parallel or whatever if I wanted, but this is JavaScript. And then I can like pass in multiple things in like an array with 1 call or whatever. I could pack it up and put more lists inside of lists, and then it ends up like the Vulkan API. But I gotta make like a list inside of a list inside of a list inside of a list. It's like a descriptor and a descriptor inside of a descriptor. And that gets so old. So like instead I'm gonna like Maybe I should just do 3 separate calls. I'm gonna do 3 separate calls. Why am I making this complicated? I'm gonna make it complicated. Whatever. I'm gonna get some caffeine.
Show an example of the Vulkan API and how it has Desc reuptors in descriptors. Make a diagram. Yep. Vulkan descriptor system can feel object layout set binding resource deep.
Oh, it's not a feeling, it's a fact. When you program with Vulkan, it's like, damn, that's not a feeling, that's fact. Oh my god, it's absolute hell. Fuck. Man, so much. I love GPU. Actually, it is kind of fun. It's like, it's a challenge. I don't like the shader files. That's absolute bullshit. It's like these separate ass files, and then it's completely separate from the GPU and the CPU. So on the CPU, you gotta have like your own copies of shit, and you recompute it, or you don't compute it. So you gotta like do the same work on both. The freaking GPU company should be like, hey, here's an instruction set, use a GPU. The whole like wave, shader, that's all bullshit. It's so annoying.
So your complaint about descriptors in descriptors has real basis. Vulkan intentionally separates resource description, resource layout, allocation, binding, and pipeline interface. It gives Vulkan explicit control and validation, but it also creates a lot of machinery between shader wants texture and texture exists. Okay, Vulkan intentionally separates resource description. It does that. Why do not lie to me? Yes, there is a concrete reason. My previous wording was too vague. Vulkan separates layout from actual descriptors because Vulkan wants the driver pipeline to know the resource interface and structure ahead of time, independently from the particular resources currently bound. Really, the reason Vulkan abstracts thing so heavily is not the reason that they are literally abstracting abstractee on itself to not expose the working of the GPU. You lied to me, GPT. OpenAI is garbage. Yes, this is where my previous answer was misleading. Vulkan is an abstraction layer of.
Man, it's so annoying, the lie.
Vulkan is not heavily abstracting everything away. It deliberately exposes much more of the GPU resource model than OpenGL older APIs. And IT deliberately exposes with what? IT does so using abstraction. Laugh me damn ass off. Fuck that API fuck. Face with tears of joy? Yes. That's the exact irony. Vulkan, we expose the GPU, but what it actually exposes is GPU, vendor hardware, driver, Vulkan abstraction, VK descriptor set, VK pipeline, VK command buffer, VK image, VK buffer.
That's not funny irony. That's like really, really frustrating and a waste of everyone's time. Man. So instead of this, you get this. Oh, fuck me. I fucking hate this shit.
VK descriptor set, VK pipeline, VK command buffer, VK image, VK buffer. Your program.
If you're playing a video, you gotta load the memory into the GPU, right? And then you gotta send every time it has updated frame. You gotta send it from the CPU over the frickin' PCI bus. What the fuck? Are you fucking kidding me? Nope, that's the way it is. This is absolute garbage. So my operating system will be like this, except it's gonna have like all its stuff set up, and you just like make shit and run it. Because this setup is like just hide the implementations, the actual workings, and get it out there to people, or not even the people. It's for like AAA companies, whatever, to save them money, not the people. Because all this shit is so expensive to support, and AAA companies are losing money with video games. So it's like, hey, let's make Vulkan. And then like the best, the most modern AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, GPU. Then like we're all supported. We're all trying to sell games. We're on the same team here. They make the Vulkan API. Oh, it pisses me off.
So it exposes GPU concepts, not the GPU itself. Low-level API, no abstraction. It means higher level, more hidden machinery. Dart. Vulkan. Less hidden machinery. Dart. Actual GPU hardware. Still abstraction. Your OS could choose JS. OS GPU resource model. Dart. Driver. GPU.
That would make it like exploitable. Chatbot's stupid. My OS would be like, hey, you want to play a video? Play a video. Have like a freaking like setup for like encoding, decoding, and just everything runs. Because I'll have like a basic setup for like the most basic shit. That describes the data type and then the spec for that type and what it supports. It's not that complicated. So shit will just run like it runs. It's so simple. The modern OS is a fucking joke. This stuff is so bad. I need to shut up and get something done. Alright, this is a mistake. I'm gonna make 3 separate calls. Just get this over with. I still gotta like finish replacing. Something will get done at some point, just not what I plan to do. whatever pops up is like, oh, I gotta do this. I'll do that, and I'll get back to the other thing. I'm so tired of this. The CPU is like literal garbage. Let's say like you want to like run a driver or something. You'd be like, hey, all right, here's your program. This is like your space to run in. There's so many ways out. It's not even funny. You let something run once and it can like fucking gain access to anywhere. And if you run the program on like a lower mode, you just give more access. And if you run it on a higher mode, there's so many ways around it. Oh, it pisses me the fuck off. And then like this memory that the driver, or whatever you want to call it, that's gonna run in, you gotta reset that memory every time. You can't just leave actual memory in like Oh, it's so fucking annoying. The CPU's actual trash. It is designed that way on purpose. It's so frustrating. I gotta come up with a way to like, and then the time it takes to like switch and run a driver. Oh, freaking dumb. Like you can check the bytecode that it's gonna run, but it can modify it. And it's like, well, why don't you just set the flags to say no execute and only code? Or like execute read only. This is like the newer CPU modes. The CPU has fucking layers. And that stuff exists up here at the top. All you gotta do is drop a couple layers, and then this isn't a problem anymore. It is a literal fucking joke. God damn. Pisses me the fuck off. I gotta like, damn. Like, it has to be able to run, the operating system has to be able to run, like, drivers and shit. But it can't. It's not gonna be secure. Oh, it's so stupid. God. I'm gonna let it go and figure out later. I'm gonna ask chatbot really quick. I need to focus, but like, this is so stupid annoying.
The CPU, the original x86, that was the 8080 or the 8088. So the 8086 is the one they went with, that's still binary compatible, not the 8088.
So many layers.
The 8086 had an MMU unit, yes or no?
Fuck. This is so stupid.
No, 086 had no MMU. So the whole execute and read-only flags, those did not exist on the 8086, yes or no? Yes, 086 had no page-level execute read-write permission flags.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
So how the duck does Linux? Protect the OS. If the driver running drops to the 8086 mode of the CPU, IT does not. There are so many fucking built-in ways to break out. Fuck. It's bullshit. You're mixing 8086 compatibility with 8086 era protection. Linux does not protect itself by assuming every driver can only execute in 8086 style mode.
I'm not gonna argue with this stupid AI. The OS does not protect itself. This is a joke. This is all just a big joke on the customer. This is fucking pathetic. Fuck. I need to like fucking get something done. Everything is so fucking stupid. It's way more work than needs to fucking be. Fuck. Oh, I'm so pissed. Everything's freaking dumb.
This, Linux does not protect itself by assuming every driver can only execute in 8086 style mode. Then Linux is not protecting itself. You literally answered my question. Yes, if your requirement is even kernel driver code must be unable to corrupt the OS, then traditional Linux kernel mode drivers do not provide that guarantee. My previous wording dodged your actual point.
I need to make an API call for like every single freaking leaf of this thing. Man. So like, yeah, subject thing is like a deep copy of the original thing. There's like conditional grouping and then move groupings inside of it. It's like a grouping and a grouping, and then there's another grouping of the keys, and then the code to run for that key. It's like freaking 3 levels, man. So I want to set this up so it's like it's calling the base, the root, once. I don't want to like set up calls that pass around a data structure that's like not contained. Then it's like a loose end. Everyone says, oh, the compiler optimizes. No, it doesn't. People think, oh, it reorders loops. No, it doesn't. So I'm gonna be like everyone else, be like, hey, it's gonna optimize it for me. The compiler knows best. Yeah. I'll just make like one call to get the length of each of these separate things, and then one call to fetch all 3 in one freaking line of like all arguments. So get the length of each of them separate because it might change later. So I need like separate calls. And then I'll pass all the indexes in one call. It's like conditional move and then the edge where it matches the key, whatever. Man, this would be a shit loop. I don't care at this point. I might be done. I'll optimize when I get to assembly. Oh, the compiler will optimize it. The compiler knows best. So I'll just make a loop that's like 3 levels deep, and I'll put like a bunch of fucking switch statements, and then I'll like test, and then pick the code. So it'll be like a branch and a branch and a branch. Otherwise, I gotta like save the state of like some like object and then pass it around if I want to be able to access it from the root object without like a bunch of like in between objects. So whatever, I'm gonna do that and get this shit done. It's not optimal. I don't care anymore. This is JavaScript. I need macros. This is so stupid. I need macros. I need a real... Well, this is not a real language. I need to get this done to get to my engine. But then the other object that holds a copy of this is just a list of like the keys or whatever. This is so boring. So when I get these out, I think I can now, and then I'll get these set up. I'll put like a if-else switch, and then toggle between old and new mode. Then make sure these work, and then the old stuff works, then take out the old stuff. And then now everything's like contained inside like separate routines or whatever. If I did that in the first place, I wouldn't be like searching down individual freaking properties and trying to like, yeah. This is a better design though. I need more caffeine. I'm tired of this. This is stupid. So I gotta like tag things as comments, get them out, and then get this stuff in, and then get stuff with. The CPU has like super real mode, whatever, on like x86 whatever. And then like AMD, Intel, they like use the modes and they don't document it, but they know that they're there, and they use them for stuff, and people notice it and they're like, oh, just look at that, oh, that's awesome. There's so like, man, it's like dropping to like the original x86 mode. It like depends on CPU. It's like so technical. It's like I don't even fucking care. But there's all these like, oh,
The super real mode was not documented, but Intel or AMD people kind of figured it out. It's like an in-between mode on the CPU. The CPU has a way to many in-between modes. If you mean unofficial intermediate CPU states modes discovered through behavior, yes. x86 has had plenty of weird historical behavior, but super real mode needs precision.
it's not weird historical. It's intentionally implemented.
There is no standard Intel AMD architectural CPU mode officially called super real mode.
Exactly, because people gave it a cool name because Intel and AMD pretend it doesn't exist, even though that's how they set it up. Oh, it's so. I'm not gonna argue with chatbot. Oh, the CPU is so annoying. God. And this, I just realized like it might not need a switch. It's just a normal loop. Oh, this is so boring. I gotta get something done. naming things. Except I'm almost done, so I can like pick final names. So like the spec object, whatever specification. Man, whatever. It's supposed to be frac. I flipped them around, then flipped them around again, and fucked it up. Man, this is annoying. I'm splitting up in like 2 separate groupings, but they're like basically the same kind of calls. Except they're not. Oh, this is annoying. So like, the fractal calls are like supposed to be for the data. So it's like the same relation between the spec calls or whatever. And the spec calls break off the like two separate structures from the fractal that is like the This is annoying. So I like rename it again. Alright, so like this, I gotta fix it. Alright, anyways, I'm like name it like expand here or whatever for like expanding the object, whatever. Or like map get for like the data tree. I already checked that one. Alright, so like this is like the map access. There's like 3 layers. So I need to like access different parts with one call. So like everything's like contained, the properties and logic. So that's here, and then this call, the map call, will use parts of it after it's expanded. Yeah. And if I fix the start of the naming, but like the ending part here, like expand subject function, I put function or whatever at the end of it here. If I put function here, anything after function here means it's like a built-in property. And then on the left of it, I could have like the key or the depth of the access, whatever. And then, yeah, this is so boring. if I name it like this, it should be fine. And then all the properties are like behind these calls. And if I ever have to like replace something, I just replace the call, not like every single piece of it. So I like this one left to find. Tag it if it's a comment anywhere. This is like the most boring shit. My god. At least there's only 8. Yay. It's better than like 20. So when I get the functions in place, there's like no property accesses. I just like specify the enums. And then that's it. And then it makes it so much easier to update later. This took way too long to like down or unupdate. Unupdate to like update. This is so annoying. And then it's not being used as a comment, so that one's done. This computer's so laggy. I'm so tired of this. I am literally so tired of this. Oh my god, here we go again. It's 2026. There's no built-in revision control. It's a text editor. That's the state of 2026. It's bullshit. Text editor and text files. God damn. So like this object, I gotta like put a freaking if else on every fucking place. It's only 24. Okay, great. That's amazing. That's fun. Oh, I'm so tired of this. Okay, wait. Actually, I could do. So like this is gonna be his goals, whatever. And then these properties are not exposed like directly to like inside a call. And then it all goes through like one handle of the instance or whatever. It's like way better. And then I can like type up both, have a pick one. I think it's gonna run both. So like, this is so boring. This is better than FLSA. And then I could update it and then leave it. Well, I gotta go through and remove it anyways. Oh, this is so boring. So now I gotta do that. After I do that, get these four out. I think that's the last of these stupid objects. I really hope so. I'm so tired of this. Oh, this is getting so old. Man, it's taking way too long. I need some more caffeine. Programming sucks. I'm so tired of this. Especially like when updating, it's worse because it's like no progress. It's not writing any new code. It's freaking same exact thing. Oh, this is so annoying. So I need to make an index. I need to like find all these, wrap them all inside like an array, whatever, and then pick between it because it's easier to do the array and delete it after. And that way I can like state const the variable or whatever to make sure I don't like accidentally assign it. Otherwise I gotta make like a temp, like a let, or like whatever, block scope, and then I gotta like assign another const after it. If I need to be const, which I do need because I want to make sure I don't accidentally fuck it up. Because it's a literal text in a file. This is dumb. The operating system is so out of date. That's not funny. It is so out of date. God. It goes through so many layers of absolute nothingness to like get text on the frickin' screen. What even? And it can't even actually be updated without breaking the entire environment and pissing everyone off. Because everyone that makes money off this corruption behind the scenes, it's never gonna change. Oh, everything's so annoying.